Hi there, hope you're all doing well. With the release of the Eternal Dynasty lore book came 4 new heroes for them. Commander Xao stood out for me. I couldn't resist printing him out and getting him painted up. To start off, I primed him black and grabbed olive green for the base coat of the cape type thing. I found some artwork in the lore book and I'm just going to follow that for the colour scheme. Luckily it's fairly similar to what I want to do my army scheme in the end, so this works out pretty well. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. You can also join Discord using the link in the description, where you can come hang out, chat and share anything you have been hobbying on. I hope you enjoy the video and find it useful. With all of the base coat dry, I mixed in a little grass green to that olive green and began going over all of the raised parts and the flat areas. This really just leaves that olive green in the recesses and between the folds. Since this doesn't cover perfectly in one coat, I used it to build up a gradient towards the tops of these parts, just so that it adds a bit of highlight towards where I'm getting the actual highlight. After getting the gradient established, I moved on to the highlights using pure grass green, going over the tops of the folds, edges and a little variation on some of the flat areas. Before moving on to the armour, I get the undersuit started with a mixture of matte black and deep grey as the mid-tone. I use the black prime as the base coat for these parts, since the army painted colour matched their primers anyway. Adding this little extra brightness allows me to go over the majority of the padding again, while keeping that black in the shadowed colours. Since there isn't much to cover on the undersuit, the highlight is just some more deep grey added into the mix, which I then use to go over the parts where they'll be in direct light, or where I want to break up some of those parts. Moving on to the main event now, I start off the armour with Berserker red as the shadow colour. In the artwork I'm basing the scheme off, the little dragon robot looks like it's going to be red, so I'm going to paint it up the same as the armour, and just wash it later to get some differentiation in there. After spending far longer than I thought I would base coating, I spend just as long on the mid-tone now with Sanguine Scarlet. Went over almost everything again except for the recesses between the panels and in the shadows. For the Sashimono, I left it a little bit scratchy on the mid-tone since I want to add a bit of fabric texture to it. With the armour looking more like I want it to now, I finished it off with Demon Red across the panels in the light and an edge highlight on the remaining panels. The little dragon robot gets a lot of this over him, as it helps just add that separation to the main armour colour. The bulk of the mini is now done, so it's time for the little details, starting off with a Enchantress Purple as the base coat for his face. After getting a few coats down on the face, I moved on to Spectral Purple to bring up the sharper features and the upper parts of the face. face was the only little detail really. All of the remaining parts are metallics. So to start off, I used dragon's gold over the armor panels remaining and the detailing on the Sashimono. I think in the artwork I was following, the dragon has a bit of a gold body. I couldn't really tell, so I opted to stick with the red just so it doesn't pull too much attention away from Commander Xao himself. After getting the gold base coated, I can move on to the remaining metal parts with a once over gunmetal. There isn't much to this step, it's mostly just these sword blades and some small details to break up the gold. Although saying that, after the silver is base coated, I use mithril blade to add a highlight over the gold and the silver parts, which does pull them back together again, but also makes the gold look a little bit brighter. To add the separation back into the metallic parts, I washed the gold and the dragon with soft tone. I thinned it down a little bit extra as I don't want to stain too much, just enough to darken down the recesses and add a slight tint to the gold. Finishing up, I quickly gave the base a once over with German camo black brown. I will be using texture paste and tufts on the base. At this point, however, I hadn't decided what I wanted to do, I just needed something other than black. And that will be it for Commander Xao. We'll be leading my Eternal Dynasty army once it's painted up, and this colour scheme works well for them. I like the green robes, that's not something I would have thought of. I would have gone with black though if I didn't have any artwork to follow, which thinking about it now would probably darken the army down a fair bit. The only issue I have with this mini is the dragon. I would have preferred a version without him on there, but with a named character you can't really be too picky about the sculpt. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and also come hang out, chat and share anything you have been hobbying on with Discord using the link in the description. While in the description, if you want to pick up some painting supplies or new minis, there are a couple of affiliate links down there, where I get a little bit of a kickback and no extra cost to yourselves. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more content. Most importantly though, be kind to each other.